Alright guys, we're back and we are now into the deployment part of the project. So I'm going to build this out with you. Okay. I haven't I didn't build it before this. I didn't give it a run test. So but I've done this many times. No, this thing says that I've done this twice, but no, I have done it more than twice. I have other teams out there that is not this team. So I've done this a bunch of times. So I don't foresee anything wrong happening what I'm building this. I didn't need to actually do a test run before I try this out with you guys. But it's still, things could happen. And, things could happen all the time. So we're gonna go ahead and do this together, all right? And even if I didn't even try it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new site from Git. So we gotta make sure first that everything in Git is working perfectly if you haven't done it yet. So let me see. I know I have Git open somewhere, right? Did I not? Maybe not. Alright, so I guess I don't have it open. Alright, so we're gonna go to our GitHub here and we're gonna look for, this is my portfolio tutorial. Everything is fine. Okay, everything is great. We have all the stuff that we need here. Alright, so make sure that you have the latest already uploaded to your GitHub. We did that. Make sure that you're current on that. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and hit new site from GitHub. Create new site. So this is going to be a continuous deployment. That's fine. I'm going to click GitHub and it's going to do this and it's going to authorize it. And if you haven't authorized it yet, basically it's just going to, mine is already authorized. That is why it went straight to this. But if yours isn't, all it's going to do is ask you to log in and put your GitHub username and password and all that and say yes to authorize Netlify to connect to it. So sorry, I can't really show you that. Mine is already connected to GitHub, so it jumps straight to that. But the good news is that it's pretty easy to do, to connect it to GitHub, and then once you do, then you'll never have to do that again. Every time you come here to Netlify and you create a new site from GitHub, you're already going to be connected. Now, this continuous deployment is a really good thing because this continuous deployment, what it really means is that whenever you push, it's just right here, when you push to GitHub, the build tool inside Netlify will run automatically. So before you had to do this, before we had to actually run some kind of some certain webhooks and things like that to make sure that whenever we ran not a webhook but an environment variable. Before we had to set up environment variables for production inside of our config. No, not our config, our package.json, sorry. We had to come over here and do in the develop here, we had to make sure that we here in the build set up inside the script an actual build to Netlify and then give it instructions and to Netlify to actually build this stuff for you and things like that. I believe that Heroku still does it that way, not Netlify. Netlify is already has already a built-in continuous deployment. So anytime you push in here, when you do your commit and then you do your push, it will automatically build your website fresh. So yeah, that's a lot of talk. Sorry. All right, so we're going to look for what we want to. We're going to look for our project here, which is this one, and it's going to pull it up, and that's fine. Branch to deploy is going to be the master branch, and look at this. It even already knows that you need to use your Gatsby build and your public folder, and it's pulling that up from here, Gatsby build, and it knows exactly what it. Just the greatest thing in the world, trust me. Okay, so that's fine. And if you want to see this show advanced, basically here you can create more variables if you wanted to. I don't think you're going to need any variables, but these are environment variables that you may need for webhooks and things like that. And right now we don't have any, so it's fine. So go ahead and deploy the site. And this is going to take a little bit of time. So while the site deploy is in progress, I may just pause this video so we don't have to go through all this. But while that is done, we'll explain some things. So this right here is the production deploys, and it tells you what's going on. You can actually even click on it and see what is going on behind the scenes. Okay, everything that is reading in your site, your npm modules, and all that stuff, putting it all together. If it's using PHP, it will, Ruby, all of that stuff. It's doing a bunch of different checks and installations and things like that. So while that is done, you'll get a message eventually here that tells you, where your build is and all that. Now, if you ever at any time need to redeploy the build on your own terms, like if you it will do it if you git push here. If you have any changes and you add commit and then push, it's going to do it automatically. But let's say for some reason you needed to redeploy because something went wrong in the last build. I don't know, maybe something didn't come through right away. You can always trigger deploy and then deploy site again. So how do you do that is by coming here to the deploys and then click on trigger deploy and then deploy site, or clear cache and deploy site, even better. I do this one actually a lot. I'm not going to hit it now because it's in the process of building this deploy, this build right here that it's trying to do. But if this was finished, I could show you how this will generate another fresh build on top of it and create it. Now, when this is all done, you're going to have your very own fervent Rosalind blah 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 blah. That's going to be your website address. Basically, that's going to be where it's gonna live, and you can actually start using that to give to people, to how to get to yours. Again, mine says luisdsilva.com because I did have my own domain attached to it. But for you guys, it's going to be whatever mine says, fervor Rosalind, whatever. Yours is going to say something else. Okay, so it failed. That's interesting. Let's see what failed. Maybe it's me clicking on things. Okay, no, that's not it. Okay, here we go. So the Webpack error, manifest React error. This the manifest. What did I do in the manifest? Use the non-minified dev environment for full errors. Okay. All right, let's read about this manifest and see what I did wrong there. So in the manifest, there's nothing there that could have broken. That is so odd. That's the first time I ever see this. Now there's more errors here. I missed this. So the server state is the user. Okay. All right. So something in the use state. Server state. I don't see anything wrong with that. That is so odd. Okay. So I wonder if we copied and pasted this directly from get form, so I know it's not a typo. So the form submitting. Oh my goodness, are you serious? Did I? Yes, I did. Okay, I see what I did, guys, and I'm pretty sure that somebody caught this on the last video and was probably yelling at the screen like, I can't believe it. Why would you do that? Okay, so this is outside of my actual page. And it should be inside for it to work. It has to work. It works in here inside the page. So I am so sorry about that, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy all of this and cut it out. and put it underneath the style, actually even right before the return. Wow, I can't believe I did this. All right, there you go. Just make sure that that is not breaking any rules here. Save it, and everything is compiling as it should. Okay, everything should be compiling as normal. Just make sure that we refresh the screen and everything is fine. Everything is fine. I'm sure it sends. Okay, so now we had to. Okay, what happened? Anchor L, so that's fine. Yeah, that we know we know these errors are weird and always going to be there. I don't know why, but they don't break anything. So we're gonna git add, and we're gonna git commit this, and we're gonna change this message here. Fixed error in get form submit code. Submit code. All right, and we're gonna do that. Sent, and we're gonna do a push. Make sure that we refresh what's in. There we go. Cool. So, yep. So now that that's done, now we can go back over here and redo this again. Okay. Retry deploy. So click on that, clear cache, and deploy site. So it's gonna build it again. It's gonna do another new build. You know, I'm actually glad that it did that, because I was just talking about how to do this clear cache and deploy site, and it worked. And it's actually, you know, it's almost like the web gods were telling me, oh, so you wanna explain that? How about you show it? All right, so I don't want to go away until this is running. Hopefully it finished up pretty good and pretty quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it and come right back, and this is probably gonna take a little bit of time, so if you have to step away and go get some coffee or whatever, do so, and I will be right back as soon as this is built. All right, and I'm back. So everything is fine. It published, and hopefully for you guys it was just as successful if you have been following along, and through all my mistakes as well, my fails. So it's published now, and then now you have a brand new a domain now called whatever blah 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 that you have. Minus this one, it's going to be completely different. So I'm just going to right click and open a new tab to make sure that everything looks fine and that my website looks great. Okay, all of my images, everything is pulling through, and the internet is happy. Everybody will be happy that I am online, and they can talk to me, and they can hire me, and they can see some of my work. Can they? Okay, let's see. Oops, there you go. Inspect. All right, let's inspect and see what's happened here. So let's open this in a new tab, and the image is there. Okay. Display flex. Hide this is fine. The display is also fine. All right, let's try a different one. Okay, let's try the console, see what happens there. All right, so we have a bunch of 404s here, and these 404s are basically for all of these images that are not coming through. So most of the stuff is going to happen because of connections that are refused. So let's see. The server responded with a mixed content URL was provided over HTTPS but requested an insecure URL. Okay, so let's see what this site is. HTTPS, and it requested an HTTP. So my guess that is happening here is in the manifest we are requesting, not in the manifest but in the WordPress here, we're picking from an HTTP. Well, that should be fine. Gatsby, Lotus tag, build, wallpaper, JSON. That none of that should really be a problem. So I don't see why that. Let me refresh this again. All right, let's look at the actual WordPress site that is that we did. The problem may be here, may not be in the actual site that we built. All right, so let's look at the settings. It's not secure, which is what we expect. It's not secure. Okay. Where are we? Where's the site? Alright, so let's read a little bit more. So there's a mixed content issue. So the page at URL was loaded over HTTPS but requested an insecure URL. This request has been blocked and the content must be served over HTTPS. Okay, so I understand what they're trying to say, and because the site itself is served over an HTTPS, as you can see here, but the site here at Gatsby Lotus is served over HTTP and not HTTPS. That's why you have this cross text issue here. So best way to fix this is if I go to my DreamHost account, which for you it could be anything else. It could be GoDaddy, it could be anybody else. But this is one of the reasons why I recommend DreamHost, because you could do licenses, the less encrypt licenses pretty much for free, and as opposed to other ones like I think GoDaddy doesn't do it. You have to actually pay them. So all right, so this may have some information, so I'm going to do this off screen and then I'll show you what I did. Basically what I'm doing is I'm going into my my website here, my domain where I have it registered to my register, and finding my actual domain, which is Gatsby Lotus Untech, and I'm going to make it secured. So once I get to a point there, okay, good. So I think I can show you from here. So I went to my Gatsby Lotus Tech from in DreamHost, and I'm making it basically that it is secured. And as you can see, it's free. If you want a better one, then it's going to be, you know, like 15 bucks or something like that. So it's cheaper, but it's better, but it's still cheap. All right, so that takes a little bit of time, about 15 minutes, but never really does take that long. So while that's happening, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go ahead and pause this and come right back to you guys.